guys, Jay Turner Studios here. So today we're talking about the iPhone 11 Pro Max. We're going to get into it, talk about the screen. Apple says this gets up to 800 nits for brightness, up to 1200 nits for HDR photos and 4K HDR videos. Also, it has a 2 million to 1 contrast ratio with 458 pixels per inch. You have the stainless steel border. You have the frosted matte glass back with this almost, it's like a 3D frosted Apple logo on the back. It's pretty cool in case you guys can see it, trying to get a good angle. But it has a frosted Apple logo. Of course, the logo is centered. There's no writing on the back, and of course you have this glass camera unit. Is housed in a glass unit. You have the wide, the ultra wide, and the telephoto lens. You have the flash, and of course the mic. Once again, the stainless steel border with this huge power button. It's like a Siri / power button, and then of course you have still the Apple Lightning port with the speakers, of course, on this side and nothing on the other side. It's just basically whatever, some little dots. Also, you have the front-facing camera, which, of course, you can take these Selfies, which Apple calls it, which I wouldn't use. Now, as far as the Face ID goes, Apple says that it's 30% faster than the original phones or the other phones. And I've tested it, and that's sort of kind of true. In most ways, sometimes it's about the same. You can do it from more angles. I agree with that. Also, this camera on the back is a funny little, it's a bump in the housing area. And along with that bump is, of course, the camera bumps. So it's a bump on a bump. So if you're setting it on a table, it's going to be pretty rocky, as you can see right here. I would recommend you get a case. And right here I have a case from a company called iBlazin. It's a clear case and it fits pretty well. I put a link in the description down below. I like this case because mainly you can keep your original, the way how the iPhone actually looks. You can show off the actual color of it instead of a case of the color of a case. So it's a pretty good case. I think if you drop it and everything, that it'll protect your phone pretty well. It's real smooth. Uh, it lays flat on the table. You don't have any issues. Like I said, the drops are pretty good. Now, another thing that we're talking about is the redesign of the App Store. So Apple has redesigned the App Store to where you have the arcade, you have games, things they kind of cleaned it up a little bit. It looks a lot better, in my opinion. It could take some getting used to, but other than that, I mean, it looks pretty good. Also, in the Messages app, of course you can swipe now on the keyboard to do your messages with the new iOS 13 update. You still have, of course, the same little emojis and everything that they've always had, and then you also have the memojis, which you can like substitute for your emojis, and you also have the animojis, which you can play around with. It's fun at times. Of course, you can pick yourself and do a little face talking and all that stuff. Is pretty reactive. When the camera's on your face, it kind of does everything for you. Talk for you, all that stuff. Ha ha ha, everything. So I think you'll enjoy it more towards the younger crowd, if you ask me, that would possibly use that. And also, we have a redesign of the camera itself. Within the camera, you can switch to the different zooms of the camera, and then they also have a smooth way of doing it where you can just kind of like this. Just go in and out with it, much smoother than, just tapping everything. Now, as far as the video goes, it's not as smooth as the camera app, I guess, if you're recording or anything. But anyway, this camera is supposed to be able to record up to 4K at 60 frames per second. Um, Also, within the camera app now, after you take a picture, you can edit your photos within the camera app. You can do like the saturation, the brightness, the balance, just all type of different things that you can do without having to leave and go into something like Adobe Lightroom or something like that. I mean, I think you would still use Adobe Lightroom, if you want to do a bit more, but it's kind of nice to have this feature where you can finally do these things within Apple's camera system. Now, speaking of the cameras, of course, we're gonna talk about the front-facing camera. So, the front-facing camera, of course, you can record 4K video as well at 60 frames per second. This is the true depth camera. You can also, touch to zoom in, zoom out a little bit. It's supposed to be able to view more than what it has in the past. Like the lens is supposed to be bigger. Of course, you still have all your different portrait modes there that you could use for your selfies. So not much has really changed with the front-facing camera, but it's still nice to get a little bit more than what you generally would with the old iPhone. So also they did a redesign of the music app on the iOS 13 update. So you can basically go into this app and they've changed it around, and of course in most of in the songs you have this almost karaoke like lyric bar. So as you're playing the music, the lyrics move with it, and here's an example of that. So because of copyright issues, I won't be able to play the actual song, but as the song is going, you can see the lyrics light up as it's going along with the song. So it's almost like a mini karaoke in your pocket, as you can see right here. So another thing that's changed is it's supposed to have a faster GPU. Faster CPU is supposed to be faster with that A13 Bionic chip. So here's a speed test of my Wi-Fi, which is of course much higher than what it was last year with my 10s Max. And then of course we'll do it without the network on. And we'll go strictly with Verizon. And oh my God, this is terrible. I don't know what's going on. Typically in the area that I stay in, my speeds are supposed to be much faster. So Verizon, if you can see this, you guys need to kick it up a notch, because this speed is unacceptable. And of course, the world is gonna see this. But overall, in other places like the Apple Store and things like that, I've had on my network alone, the speeds were up to about 65 download and about 15 uploaded. So there you have it. So going back to the photos from the camera app, this is the difference with the night mode. This is the dark without night mode. This is with night mode on. Uh, it does a pretty good job most of the time with the brightness and not oversaturating some of these pictures. Here's another dark without the dark mode. And then of course this one right here has dark mode, which lights it up pretty good. And then you have some pictures where it kind of overdoes it. This one of course is another night mode shot, and then um, it kind of keeps the colors true and everything, the lighting and everything. And then this, of course, kind of blows it up a little bit more. Now, sometimes these darker pictures, it's actually darker than what it seems. Like this one right here, it was a little bit darker than that, but when the night mode kicks in, it kind of oversaturated the pictures. It kind of blew it up a little bit more than what it should. And then, of course, this is one of my favorite ones. This is a true test of how it is. So you have that, and then, of course, you have with night mode on, it kicks in and it looks like this, which is like amazing. I think this is one of my best night mode shots that I've had. And of course, you have the cameras where, of course, still on certain things like this, it doesn't look that good. It's not catching everything when you add the bokeh in there. But I think it should get better over time. Hopefully, I don't think with this phone, maybe next year's phone, but we'll see. If you guys ever want to game with me, you can meet me on the Xbox. My name on there, of course, is M1 Macaroni. You guys want to game? Let's get it on. A couple other things that I didn't talk about was the battery life on this phone. You can get up to 5 more hours of battery life than the 10s Max. There was one night where I took the phone off the charger at 11:56, and it didn't get to 6% until 11:30 the next day or something like that, somewhere around 10:30, 11:30. And when I put it on the charger, it got about 40 up to 48% within 30 minutes. Apple says you can get up to 50% charge within 30 minutes. I did play with it a little bit while I was doing it. But anyway, that's pretty much it, guys. Like I said, you have the IP68 rating, water resistance up to 4 meters for 30 minutes. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and give it a thumbs up. Maybe give it 2 thumbs up. Maybe give it 3 thumbs up. Who knows? I don't know. Give it a many thumbs up if you can. Share it, like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.